Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the podcast that will be the stand-in for any and all of the in-class content that you would expect during a regular course. That regular course is 276, Introduction to C++ Programming. I'm the instructor and disembodied voice/podcast that you'll be listening to, Eric Wolf. Just Eric, honestly, is fine. Some things to know before we get started. First and foremost is you should expect several of these small bite-sized podcasts every week for the session's important information. In no way, shape, or form am I going to read to you every line from every chapter, far from it. That is a complete and total waste of your time and a very expensive kind of a story time for you. Rather, what you should expect is small 2 to 5 minute podcasts that will span a chapter and cover the big, high-impact material, and most of the rest of that I leave to you to fill in. My suggestion to you is to read the chapter first and then come back here and listen to the podcasts. I find it, just like in a classroom, better for you, the learner, if you start at your own pace, read through and try to get an understanding of it, and then listen to the podcast. And what we'll do is we'll hit the high notes so you can hear about its implementation. You can kind of see where it is that we would see things, concepts rather, in the industries, and really help to make things more concrete from there. So read the chapter first and then come back here and listen to the podcast. The pattern that you should expect is a grouping of podcasts that correspond to every chapter. The general outlay of things, which we'll talk about again in the syllabus and we'll talk about again as we get moving here, is 1 week to cover the material as it is in the textbook. The following week to kind of create a series of programs that would, as best as we can, mimic the way you would see the topics in the real world. I want to mention it here, and I'm going to mention it several times, is that my office hours online are going to be posted in the syllabus. They run from 10 a.m. to 11:40 a.m. on Thursdays, and it's my expectation and understanding that that is going to be completely and totally worthless to most of you. I understand that people have work. You'll work a 9 to 5, you'll work a 9 to 9. You'll be in another class. I really don't expect that those office hours are going to work for everybody. I'm going to give you messages through Eagle, email, my cell phone number that you can text me at. I really want to drive home that at any time that you have a question, with the exception of the middle of the night, because I'm not a crazy person, and sooner or later I need sleep, anytime outside of, crazy, ridiculous hours, I really do encourage you to send me a text or an email or a message through Eagle so that we can address whatever question it is that you have early so that you don't go nuclear as you're waiting for this question to somehow mystically get an answer. That doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for me. Go ahead, ask questions when you have them. You don't have to wait for those office hours. Some things right here to be aware of that you'll see here in Eagle. There will be a How Do I Use Eagle for This Course podcast. There's a Why C++ podcast, a syllabus podcast, among others. And as we go through the weeks here, just to make sure that nobody gets too far ahead, I'll be releasing more and more of these podcasts as we get along. So here we go. Off we are. Introduction to C++ Programming.